Hello guys, and welcome back to Rausxhi Photo. So today I'm going to give you a quick and short overview of my Leica M10-D and just the basics around this camera, how it works, how it looks like. So this is it. Of course, the first thing you realize is that there is no screen, although it's a digital Leica M10. So it has a digital sensor and shoots RAW and everything, but there's no sensor. So this is really the specialty about this camera. So you just have your settings on your lens. You can choose your aperture and your focus, which is coupled with the rangefinder. So you just look through the lens, then you adjust the focus, and then you're gonna see what is in focus when the two little windows overlap. So this is how you focus with this camera. And then you have the triangle of light, how I call it. So you have your aperture on the lens, you have your ISO dial, which is up here, and here you have your aperture speed, your shutter speed. You have your shutter speed, and so you can just turn the shutter dial to which you want. To adjust the ISO, you cannot turn it like that, so you have to push it up. You have to get in there with a fingernail, then you push it up, then you can turn it. For example, ISO 100, and then you click it back in, and then your aperture is set. You can also, because this is a digital and electrical camera, put your shutter speed to automatic. It's just the red A. You can also put your ISO to automatic, which is the red A. So you can choose. You can shoot just in aperture priority. So you put both on automatic, choose your aperture, and then you go from there. Or you can shoot on just the ISO automatic or just the shutter speed automatic, what you want. But I personally only shoot in full manual, so because the camera has a built-in light meter. So I just set everything how I want, set my shutter speed to, for example, 250 when I'm outside. I set my ISO to 100 and then the lens to f5.6. Then I'm ready to go. In harsh sunlight, my image looks always perfect. It's always exposed right for the sunlight. And also here in the back, we have this little dial, which of course should remind you of the ISO dial in old Leicas, and you can turn the camera on like this. So the red dot is off, the right here the LED goes on. Now the camera is on, and there you have the Wi-Fi sign, so you can turn that on, and now it blinks for about 30 seconds. Takes quite a while until the Wi-Fi comes on, and then you can connect your camera to your phone with the Leica Photos app, and then you can transfer images. And most importantly, with this camera, you can do all the settings in the camera. So I can't do any settings right here. I only can choose my aperture and everything and the ISO, but I cannot choose if I want to do a timer, for example. So if I want to do a self timer for 10 seconds, I can't do it on the camera. So I have to connect it to my phone, get in the app, get on settings, and then settings of the camera, and then I can do a self timer. I can choose if I want to shoot RAW or only JPEG or both, and then I can choose if I want the JPEG to be monochrome or to be in color, and if I want to add sharpness, contrast, saturation and everything. I can all do this in the Leica Photos app. But if you're not like me and you're an automatic shooter, you can also right here get your exposure compensation. So it goes from -3 up to +3. You just do it like that, like that. Now it's on 0. Then you can do -2 your exposure compensation. You can just adjust it with both hands. Very quick and very easy, just as you turn this on. It goes on, it goes off. Very easy. But I personally, I always let the camera on, so it's always on the camera. But in the settings, I chose that it's an auto off after 2 minutes. So I just shoot, And then if I don't shoot for 2 minutes, the camera turns off. But when there's a scene and I don't have time to turn my camera on, I can just, when I grab the camera out of my pocket, for example, I can just tap the shutter button softly, and then the camera knows, oh, he wants to take a shot, and then the camera turns on quickly, and then I can do my shots, and then I can put it back again, and then it will turn off again after 2 minutes. Yeah, there's that. So you also have a dial here and a button here on front. These are only usable if you have the EVF on top. So it's the type 020, I think. You can put buy an EVF, it's about $500. You can put it on top, and then there's an EVF, but that's really not the point of this camera, is it? So if you want to shoot like an old Leica film camera, then of course you don't have an EVF, so just do it through the rangefinder. And yeah, and then with the button here in front, you can focus. You can do a punch in so that you can focus better manually. This also works with the app, so I can do live view with the app. Everything I could do with a screen in the back, I can do then with my mobile phone. So I can also do the settings of the ISO and the shutter speed. I can dial it in my phone. It's quite useful if you want to do very long exposures, for example, and then you have your camera on the tripod, and then you have it connected to your phone, and then you can say, oh, I want to try 15 seconds. Then you can click on your mobile phone, do the shot. The camera is taking the shot for 15 seconds, and then you can directly see what image you got, and then you can maybe change it, make it longer, or shorter the exposure, or change the ISO or something. Yeah, basically how you load this camera is like the old film Leicas. You have this bottom plate here, which you just do a quarter turn here, and then you can get this off. And there's your battery, and there's your SD card. So you can just put out the battery here, get it in. Your SD card comes right next to it. I don't have, it's up here. I don't have one right now. Then you can just put this on again, turn it, and then your camera is ready to go. So it's fairly easy. And when you look through the rangefinder, you have a light meter. So it shows you just, are you perfectly exposed? Are you underexposed? Are you overexposed? And then you can change your settings accordingly to it if you want. And if you take a shot, the light meter will go away and it will show a number, for example, 980. And so you know that you have 980 shots left on your memory card. So that's the way you know that. And if you want to know how much battery you have left, you push this little button. So in the old Leica film cameras, there was the window where you could see how much shots you have left on your film, and you can press it, and then it will show you, instead of the light meter, the status of your battery. So it shows like 70, 50, 98% your battery life. So you always know how much shots you have left, you always know how much battery you have left, and you always know if you're under or overexposed. So that's basically everything you should know. Of course, you have this frame line lever here. So while you look through, you can change it, and you can go from the different frame lines to the other ones. So now I have my Voigtlander 35mm Ultron on here, and it's locked, of course, in the 35mm frame lines. It goes up to 28, that's the maximum, so the widest, and the closest is 135mm. So you got your 50, your 90, your 75, I think, your 28, 35, 135. I think that's all. I'm not quite sure about that. I don't have that many lenses. I only have a 35, a 50, and a 21, which of course is way too much, so you don't see any frame lines there. But I think you see the 28mm frame lines, and then you just imagine, okay, it's going to be even wider than that. So yeah, I think these are my my overview. This is my overview of the camera. There's also, of course, how could I forget, the fake advanced lever, which is perfect, honestly very perfect as a thumb grip. So you can hold your camera very easy like that, or you can walk around and it doesn't hurt. I first thought it might hurt a little or something at the bone here, but it just doesn't. You can tuck it in if you put it in your pocket, or you maybe have a neck strap and you have it here. It doesn't punch in your ribs, and then when you want to shoot, you just do it like that. You can do it with one hand. Now it's out, now it's in, now it's out, and then you can shoot, and then you can put it in your pocket or let it hang over your shoulders. And that's basically it. So the camera is very basic. It's just like a film camera, but it has all the benefits of a digital camera in 2020, because I can shoot like I'm using a film camera, but I'm not limited to 36 shots. But then if I had a party night with my friends, for example, I shoot, I have no clue how the pictures turn out and everything, they neither. So then it's really the fun part to go home in the evening, or then at the next day, put your SD card in your computer, open up Lightroom, and then you're gonna see the pictures for the first time, and then you're like, oh, that picture turned out amazing, oh, that was trash, I missed the focus there, something like that. So it's really, really fun to shoot with this camera, because it just combines the best from both worlds, film shooting and digital shooting, into one camera, which is just perfect for me. That's why I got this camera. So yeah, as always, guys, thank you for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at Rausxhi Photo to see my work, and yeah, you can also follow me if you want to see me shoot outside with this camera. If you want to see some reviews and first impressions about my lenses and everything, so I'm really gonna put out the content there. So leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video, and gonna see you in the next one. Bye.